Here the director excused himself, said, "Back in a minute," and disappeared. They thought he would actually come back in a minute. But 10 minutes went by and he was not there. The staff was overjoyed, he had run away. Then suddenly, somehow of themselves, they began the second verse. They were all led by Kosarkuk, who may not have had perfect pitch, but did have a rather pleasant high tenor. They sang it through. No director. They moved to their places, but had not managed to sit down when, against their will, they began to sing. To stop was impossible. After 3 minutes of silence, they would strike up again. Silence, strike up. Then they realized that they were in trouble. The manager locked himself in his office from shame. Here the girl's story was interrupted. The valerian had not done much good. A quarter of an hour later, 3 trucks drove up to the fence in Vagankovsky, and the entire staff of the affiliate, the manager at its head, was loaded onto them. As soon as the first truck, after lurching in the gateway, drove out into the lane, the staff members, who were standing on the platform holding each other's shoulders, opened their mouths, and the whole lane resounded with the popular song. The second truck picked it up, then the third. And so they drove on. Passers-by hurrying about their own business would cast only a fleeting glance at the trucks, not surprised in the least, thinking it was a group excursion to the country. And they were indeed going to the country, though not on an excursion, but to Professor Stravinsky's clinic. Half an hour later, the bookkeeper, who had lost his head completely, reached the financial sector, hoping finally to get rid of the box office money. Having learned from experience by now, he first peeked cautiously into the oblong hall where, behind frosted glass windows with gold lettering, the staff was sitting. Here the bookkeeper discovered no signs of alarm or scandal. It was quiet, as it ought to be in a decent institution. Vasily Stepanovich stuck his head through the window with cash deposits written over it, greeted some unfamiliar clerk, and politely asked for a deposit slip. "What do you need it for?" the clerk in the window asked. The bookkeeper was amazed. "I want to turn over some cash. I'm from the Variety." "One moment," the clerk replied and instantly closed the opening in the window with a grill. Strange, thought the bookkeeper. His amazement was perfectly natural. It was the first time in his life that he had met with such a circumstance. Everybody knows how hard it is to get money, obstacles to it can always be found. But there had been no case in the bookkeeper's 30 years of experience when anyone, either an official or a private person, had had a hard time accepting money. But at last the little grill moved aside, and the bookkeeper again leaned to the window. "Do you have a lot?" the clerk asked. 21,711 rubles. "Oh." The clerk answered ironically for some reason and handed the bookkeeper a green slip. Knowing the form well, the bookkeeper instantly filled it out and began to untie the string on the bundle. When he unpacked his load, everything swam before his eyes. He murmured something painfully. Foreign money flitted before his eyes. There were stacks of Canadian dollars, British pounds, Dutch guldens, Latvian lats, Estonian kroons. "There he is, one of those tricksters from the Variety." A menacing voice resounded over the dumbstruck bookkeeper. And straightaway Vasily Stepanovich was arrested. Chapter 18. Hapless Visitors. At the same time that the zealous bookkeeper was racing in a cab to his encounter with the self-riding suit, from first-class sleeping car number 9 of the Kiev train, on its arrival in Moscow, there alighted, among others, a decent-looking passenger carrying a small fiberboard suitcase. This passenger was none other than the late Berlioz's uncle, Maximilian Andreevich Poplavsky, an industrial economist, who lived in Kiev on the former Institutsky Street. The reason for Maximilian Andreevich's coming to Moscow was a telegram received late in the evening 2 days before with the following content. Have just been run over by tramcar at Patriarch's Pond's funeral Friday 3 p.m. Come. Berlioz. Maximilian Andreevich was considered one of the most intelligent men in Kiev, and deservedly so. But even the most intelligent man might have been nonplussed by such a telegram. If someone sends a telegram saying he has been run over, it is clear that he has not died of it. But then, what was this about a funeral? Or was he in a bad way and foreseeing death? That was possible, but such precision was in the highest degree strange. How could he know he would be buried on Friday at 3 p.m.? An astonishing telegram? However, intelligence is granted to intelligent people so as to sort out entangled affairs. Very simple.